Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 21 in season number 8 of the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Nashville Superspeedway for the Cracker Barrel 400. It's a 60-lap race from this 1 1/3 mile speedway in Nashville, Tennessee, or Lebanon, Tennessee, actually is the official town name of where this racetrack used to locate. It is technically a historical racetrack now. I think it still stands, but I don't know if it's actually going to stand in real life for too much longer. But we've been coming here in every season of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. One of the most unique racetracks we go to. You don't see this racetrack often in NR 2003, but you're going to see it here tonight, and you're probably going to see a pretty good race as well. We got 60 laps, and we're going to have a few more pit stops than we normally see in the Chick-fil-A Cup, at least for this season, as the pit frequency is set to 3x for the night, while most of the races have been set to 2x. So, going to be an interesting one to see who gets it done on the pit strategy here tonight. They're definitely going to need it in this 60-lap event here from Nashville. Last week, we went caution-free, and Matthew Phillips won his first career race, and with that, it put him third in the championship standings, but the points leader is still Nathan Baird, and the thing about Nathan Baird is that even if he has a couple of bad races at this point, there's a good chance he'll still win the championship. However, tonight might be one of those bad races. I believe he starts 39th for this race here tonight, deep in the field in that number 40 machine. But he's got 599 points and 57 ahead of second place Emily Anderson. So Nathan Baird looking really strong. And just think, if Nathan Baird and Emily Anderson were not in this championship battle, this is how it would be for the points lead. It would be really, really close, because it's really close from third on back. Matthew Phillips, 94 points behind. Justin Roberts, 98 points behind. And then a three-way tie for the fifth position between Zachary Fitzwater, Sebastian Kukulon, and John Arndt. So it's going to be interesting in this points battle. If Nathan Baird and Emily Anderson both fall back in the points, there's a good chance it still could happen, especially with Nathan Baird starting as far back as he is. This is a place, unlike Kentucky, where you can move your way from the back to the front. You cannot do that here. It is difficult to work your way through the field here in Nashville. The passing isn't going to be as frequent, which means it's going to be more like an actual race, and it's actually going to feel more realistic, which I like. So it should be a great one here in the Cracker Barrel 400. And it was a great qualifying lap for Sebastian Kukulon in the number 13 pole position. And this is huge for Kukulon, because Kukulon still has a shot at the championship and a shot at the Rookie of the Year. And that Rookie of the Year gets a reserve for the next season. So we'll have to see how it all goes down for Kukulon, if he can get it done in the number 13. He is alongside Garrett Senor in the number 16. He won here, I believe, in season number 2, so he's actually done it here before at the Nashville Superspeedway, but like we've mentioned quite a bit, he has not won in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series since, I believe it was February of 2016, been a very long time for him. Christian Master won at Daytona alongside Josh Marzak in number 34. Also won Daytona, won the first Daytona race. Then full frontal teammates of Wyatt Quayle and Diego Pez. You got yourself Justin Roberts and the 39 of Riley Spurley, and then Jesse Turner, and last year's Nashville winner Brad Stover in the number 99. That's the top 10 starting positions here tonight from the Nashville Superspeedway, and there is Nathan Baird, 39th on the starting grid in that number 40 machine. So it's going to be interesting to see how that affects him in the championship. We'll see where Emily Anderson is quickly, and Anderson on the outside midway through the field. So we'll have to see how it all shakes out at the end of this one. It's the last race before the All-Star race. One last chance to get in the All-Star race, and we're Green Flag Racing in Music City. Lap 1 will be led by the number 13 of Sebastian Kukulon. Bonus point towards the championship for him, and Garrett Senor got shuffled out of line like crazy. And he's going to fall close to outside the top 10. Stuck in the outside lane right now there of Carter Friesen. Definitely not where you want to be here at Nashville. It's a very tight racetrack. flat corners as well, so you really have to brake check it into the corner each time, and you can really lose momentum if you're not driving it correctly. The one guy who is driving it correctly is Sebastian Kukulon, who won the pole position. Christian Master there, Justin Roberts in the third. Jesse Turner, who almost won here. I think it was season number 5. I don't know. It was one of those races. It might have been season 3, actually, where he almost won this race, made it into the chase, and that was during his long losing streak in the Chick-fil-A Cup. So he's got a lot of movement back in here. Michael Campto has had a really dismal season, and the number 12 machine to the inside of Carter Friesen. Skip Nicky's going to get shuffled out of line. And you got to be careful. This guy squeezed into the corner here at Nashville, so you got to be careful not to get a little too close to each other and shoot up the racetrack and into the wall. But we might see it right here. Sinor still falling back in the 16 from the outside pole to midway through the field. This is not at all what Garrett Sinor was expecting, but somebody who's got a good run going for him right now, at least relatively speaking, is Nathan Baird, number 40. Able to pass quite a few cars there. His first 5 laps, and he's currently in the 27th position after starting 39th, so he's moved up 12 positions, but he's in a battle right now with Patrick Smith, and those are the only 2 drivers who have won multiple races this season as well. Fascinatingly enough, we've not had a lot of multiple winners. We've yet to have an unchartered driver win a race this season. It has been quite interesting, and we'll have to see if that streak continues here tonight. Right now it will, if Kukulon comes home with the victory. They really got single-filed out up front. They really kept it together up front as Sinor fell back. And as the race goes along, it's going to get a little more spread out like this, which makes it difficult to make a pass. It's an interesting racetrack. You can make a pass here at Nashville, but you got to get up to him, and with how flat the corners are, it's sometimes difficult to make a run on a guy. But we'll have to see if Christian Master can do something here in number 7 on Sebastian Kukulon. They're starting to figure it out back in here. A little more orderly deep in the field. Looks like Sinor might finally get back to the inside. There's a gap from him down to the next guy in line. But this is a place where you got to be careful. With the tight, flat corners, you could easily make a mistake. You might see it right here. Oh, that was a close one right there. I thought Andrew Ross was going to get him, the Patrick Smith, and send John Andrews around. But Andrews stuck 3 wide on the outside, and Nathan Baird is stuck on the outside as well. But the way they're currently running, he would extend his point lead because Emily Anderson's behind him. The top 2 guys in points deep in the field right now. Justin Roberts, who's currently running 3rd, is en route to a pretty good points day. And that would put him pretty close to Nathan Baird the way they're currently running right now, and he could have a shot at the championship, which would be something because Roberts is an experienced veteran. The 2nd ever winner in this series, only behind Jesse Turner, who's right behind him in this race. And it would be very interesting to see a veteran like Roberts get it done because Roberts has not been in consecutive seasons for too long. I mean, he was in the first 3 seasons, went away, and then has been in Season 7 and Season 8. So he hasn't been around too much in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but he was at the beginning of the series and now, as of late. So we'll have to see. We've never had a rookie champion in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series before, so it's looking very interesting in this championship. We could easily get our first ever rookie champion this season. We've got a lot of double wide back in here, and Sinor, our outside pole sitter, is still falling back. And interestingly enough, Nathan Baird is falling back to pretty much where he started. You got Trey Bartha, the Season 5 winner, back here. A lot of these guys have not had good seasons. Oh, that was a good move there. He got Christian Russell a little bit loose through the corner, and you saw what happened to Russell. Shot up the racetrack and fell back in the number 62. Nathan Baird here trying to move his way back on the inside. As you can tell, the inside lane is where you want to be in all this mess. Once they get to Tristan Allen there, they're all pretty much single file, and it gets difficult to make passes once you're up single file like that. But Wyatt Quayle is going to make a pass on Josh Marzak. But Kukulon's led every lap so far here in the Cracker Barrel 400. Looking pretty good for him right now. Ooh, Master a little wide. That might open the door for Justin Roberts to close in and make a move. That's what happens here in Nashville. These guys, they overshoot just a little bit through the corner, and that allows the guys behind them to get a move on them. And we'll see there. They've been pretty close to each other this entire run. We'll just have to see if Christian Master can find a way to the back bumper of Sebastian Kukulon. Looks like Roberts is closing in on him, however. And to all you Ryan Blaney fans out there, I'm drinking some body armor right now. You're welcome, Marty. Single file throughout a majority of the field now here at the Nashville Superspeedway. They've figured it out for the most part, but we still get these 4 wide, or should I say 3 wide situations to occur at areas around the racetrack. And you got to think, too, we're going to have pit stops in this race at some point. It's going to be very interesting if they're green flag pit stops, because really don't know how well they're going to be able to keep it together. It should be a 2-stop race for these guys. I would definitely not expect a 3-stop race, and we got a pass for third. Jesse Turner to the inside of Justin Roberts. Great run there for Turner on the inside lane. Jesse Turner recently won his 17th career Napa fan race in the Craftsman Throwback Series in Michigan. Looks like Roger Ray might make a move on Justin Roberts as well. He got loose off the corner, and that's what happens. You get stuck in that outside lane, you just simply fall back. A lot like at Kentucky, only they're not on each other like they are at Kentucky here at Nashville. Like you saw that race, we had so many passes on the racetrack. Not the case here. It's a little bit more meticulous, and you got to be careful. If you hold the line pretty good, then you're going to be able to stay in your position. But if you can't hold the line, then you're going to see what happens to Justin Roberts. That's what's going to happen to you, and he's going to lose another position as Michael Canto's right behind him. You got Matthew Phillips inside the top 10 right now. And Matthew Phillips, of course, the winner last week at Kentucky. We got 3 wide here. Justin Roberts slid up the racetrack there, and he's going to lose yet another position. This time on Wyatt Quayle. Roger Ray is going to go to the 4th position, and Michael Canto will clear for 5th. Canto's going to try to get to the inside of Roger Ray. Now Canto's got the position on the 24. Top 3 have pulled away. Kukulon, Master, and Turner in the top 3 positions right now, and they have pulled away from the rest of the field, and they're pretty much the same distance between each other. But these guys are battling very hard for the 4th position. Yellow on the racetrack. Emily Anderson around in the number 5, and this is not at all what Anderson needed. She has such a golden opportunity at getting around Nathan Baird in the points with how poorly Nathan Baird's been running here tonight, but it's not going to be the case for Emily Anderson in this one. And now the race gets interesting here at Nashville. We're not even a third of the way through this one here in the Cracker Barrel 400. And we're going to see ourselves our first set of pit stops. And this should be a 4-tire set for all these guys, except Alonso. Oh boy, that's an interesting call. You know, when it comes to Alonso, he has not been having the best of runs as of late in this series. He was up to 11th there. Good run for him. I know he started deep in the field for this one. He wants to get a bonus point towards the championship here, and he's going to try to stay out and play a little strategy on these guys. And this is the ultimate strategy racetrack. You see so many different guys pull off many different strategies here. It's actually what gave Brad Stover the race victory. He took tires when other guys did not, and that led way to Stover getting the victory in this race last year. Alonso will get a bonus point towards the championship for leading lap number 17 here in the Cracker Barrel 400. We're going to follow with Sebastian Kukulon here, and like I said, I would expect 4-tire stops from most of these guys. Garrett Sonor stayed out, which makes it easier for Christian Master to get out of his pit stall. Good thing here, they do have pretty wide pit stalls, so they don't have to worry too much about room. They should be able to get out pretty easily. Kukulon wins the race off with Master, Turner, Canto, and Wyatt Quayle, the top 5. We'll have to see if these guys come back down. I mean, guys like Turner and Miller probably will. Or should I say Sonor and Miller. Miller's going to come down, and so will Alexander Rowe. And fuel strategy could become an issue as well, which is partly probably why these guys stayed out here. They're trying to stretch their fuel. And Nashville's a tough place when it comes to fuel mileage. And we're going to see that with these guys. They're probably going to stay out for a couple laps and come down again at some point. We'll just have to see. But either way, Alonso will lead another lap in this race. Let's get to the replay of the accident with Emily Anderson that brought out the first caution of the night here at the Nashville Superspeedway. We're going to replay this in real time because so much happens here. Even though only one car got in the wall, it started the lap before this. Patrick Smith, Matt Dalio, Nicholas Samadillo. Ace Garcia tries to make a move on Emily Anderson, who makes a move on Samadillo and Dalio, and they're 4 wide off the corner, and Garcia can't do anything about it. Gets into Emily Anderson. They go through the grass, and Anderson comes back up the racetrack and gets into Patrick Smith and loses it. And that is all that happened after all of that. Ace Garcia saved it, and Emily Anderson almost saved it, but she got a little too tight in the corner. Got shot up into Patrick Smith, but my, oh my, that was something else right there. You not see an accident that advanced, and it be just one car spinning into the outside wall. That just doesn't happen. Let's go ahead and replay that once again. Gonna view this one from the spectator cam. Might be a little bit hard to see those cars on the backstretch, but you're gonna see them as they come through turn 3. That's when Sam Adio gets wide, and he gets into Dalio, and that opens the door for Anderson and Ace Garcia. And right here off the corner, Anderson came down just a little bit on Ace Garcia, and Garcia really couldn't do much about that. And Anderson ended up coming back on the racetrack. She got too tight. She did not have a good entry into the corner. And simply got into Patrick Smith and went around. So that's what ensued there. Race back to the line was won by Sebastian Cucalon. He might be leader when we get back to racing. Not 100% sure because we might see these guys stay out. But I have a feeling that Alonso and these guys who stayed out under this caution are going to come down a little bit later and just try to have a little better fuel mileage than the rest of the leaders. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll get back to racing here in the Cracker Barrel 400 from Nashville. We're back here in the Cracker Barrel 400 from the Nashville Superspeedway, and Alonso decided to stay out along with a few other guys behind him. Gonna restart right at the third way mark of the race on lap 21 with 40 laps to go here at Nashville. So the top 5 all stayed out, and how about this top 5? That's a solid top 5. Alonso, Fitzwater, Arndt, Sam Adio, and Senor. All of those guys have double-digit wins on Napa Fan. Arndt and Senor going for their 20th career wins here tonight. Then you got Cucalon, Master, Turner, Michael Canto, and Wyatt Quayle. That's the top 10. Top 5 have yet to make a pit stop, so I would definitely expect Cucalon and these guys behind him to run right by these guys with their fresh tires. Oh, Canto's got a really good car right now. He went right to the inside of the number 7. Cucalon's been unable to get to the inside of Garrett Senor, and these guys are coming down the pit lane. That's an interesting strategy because they're going to end up a lap down because of that move right there. And I think we saw something very similar to this last year. They're trying to stretch the fuel and hope for a quick caution, because if that happens and they get back on the lead lap, and it's a very, very, very bad strategy if you ask me. So that's going to hand the lead back over to Sebastian Cucalon. Kind of hate it when that happens. Nashville's one of those weird places. Master's going to get second. Turner's going to come back to the inside of Wyatt Quayle. And while all this is going on, Sebastian Cucalon stays out front in the number 13. These guys are still on the pit lane, as you see Garrett Senor right there. These guys now coming out, they're going to be a lap down. I really don't know how they're going to get their lap back. But they all pulled the same strategy, 5 of them doing it, and it's just not a good strategy at all. Very questionable. Here's one guy moving his way through the field here. That's Cody Sill. All of a sudden inside the top 5, and he's to the inside of Wyatt Quayle. You got Brad Stover up here. 68 machine as well. Carter Friesen. And like I mentioned, this is the last race before the All-Star race, and Cucalon and Canto, both of those guys have yet to qualify their way in. They have to go to the Open next week if they want to make it into the All-Star race, or depend on the fan vote. And right now they have a pretty good opportunity of making it into the All-Star race here with this race here tonight. So we'll check and see who's lapped down and who's not. It is Alonso, Fitzwater, Sam Adio, Arndt, and Senor. That is just... For those guys to pull that move is very, very strange. Emily Anderson's actually still in the lead lap, 37th right now. Nathan Baird, 29th at the moment. But that's just a poor strategy by those guys, and they were all following Alonso and hoping a quick caution would ensue. This really hasn't been the case here in this race here tonight because, as you can tell, we went the first, what was it, 17 laps without a caution? Something along those lines, so definitely a very interesting race at this point. Nathan Baird trying to move his way through the field once again. The inside of Patrick Smith, that would be for the... can't really quite tell. Because he's behind the number 22 that last lap, but just behind him. I think he might be losing some ground on that inside lane right there. This time by Nathan Baird was 28th. So he gained a lap, or gained a position that last lap right there. Back to the race lead, and it's still Sebastian Kukulon in number 13. How about this move by Turner to the inside of Michael Canto? That is for the 3rd position right there. The inside lane does not seem to be working as well as it did earlier on in the race, but entering turn number 1 is a good place to be on the inside, and Turner should be able to get the apex to work on Canto. He's got it. So it's back to being the same top 3 we had before the caution came out. Sebastian Kukulon, Christian Master, and Jesse Turner. Here comes Brad Stover, though. This is his playground. Right now in the top 5, and he's moving his way through the field very well. He started in the 10th position. He's to the inside of Michael Canto, trying to get the run on the inside of the Velocitar Racing driver, and he's going to get it for 4th. Turn 1's the place you want to be on the inside of somebody. That's the best place to make a pass. The outside lane works a little bit better through turns 3 and 4 here, so I want to watch for those guys getting good runs. We see Christian Master. Those guys, they work it into the corner very heavily, and it hurts their momentum quite a bit. Turner might get a run here on Master. Oh, yeah, he's got the draft. He's got a peak at some point here. Right on the back bumper of Christian Master right now. I say next lap he's going to make a move. Ooh, he lost a little bit of ground right there. Master got back in the gas a little bit faster than Turner did. It's very interesting the way they race here. I think it's really neat how you have to really have a run to make a move on somebody, and it all comes down to when you brake and when you get back in the gas. It's very, very critical here when you get back in the gas. And with how tight of a racetrack it is and how flat it is, if you do it too early, you're going to be in the outside wall, and these drivers know that. Master a little wide, but he's getting back in the gas a little bit sooner than Turner through that corner. And Brad Stover in the 4th position, and then Michael Canto running in 5th. It's a top 5 halfway through the Cracker Barrel 400. Most laps have been led by Sebastian Kukulon. Now, here's an interesting thing. If this thing stays green, Alonso, Senor, John Art, Zachary Fitzwater, and Nicholas Amedeo, they're going to be able to stay out a little bit longer. And with green flag pit stops usually come cautions. So there might be a method to their madness here. If they can get back on the lead lap that way, they might actually get a good run in this race, because the caution has a good chance at coming out during those green flag pit stops, because these guys have an issue coming back on the racetrack, which might be their strategy. I wasn't thinking about that, but with the way this race is going, it looks like we could end up with green flag pit stops for a 2nd set. There goes Turner. Turner's got 2nd on Christian Master. And Brad Stover said see you later to the number 7 as well. This guy you got to watch out for. Brad Stover's good here. He won this race last year, so you know he's going to be going for something here tonight. I'll have to see if Turner can do anything on Sebastian Kukulon. He was able to get around Christian Master there for that position. Here's one guy up front who started dead last, or 41st, excuse me. Mark Davidson, who is now inside the top 10, running 9th. Excuse me, running 10th. Great run there for the driver of the number 95. Master was able to get back to the inside of Brad Stover, so we had a battle right there. That's going to help Turner to get to the back bumper of Kukulon here. Thing is, we don't quite know what the fuel window is for these guys, so that's a very interesting scenario as well, because if the fuel window is coming up here for these guys, we might end up with another set of green flag pit stops if this thing stays green. But I would expect probably around lap 45 these guys come down. That'd be my guess. Be my educated guess. I think Stover's got it back on Master. He tried to get to the inside, could not do it. And Stover's got it to the inside for 3rd once again. These guys have been battling very hard for the 3rd position. And that's allowing Turner to just get closer and closer, because nobody's battling Turner for that position right there. So this is going to get interesting. I think Turner's going to have a chance at getting around Kukulon. He's running a much lower line through the corner. That means his car is nice and snug. Actually, maybe not snug. It's a little loose if he's getting through the corner pretty well there. It's just working out pretty well for the Aflac machine. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that much. Keeps on closing in there. And, you know, funny thing is, Jesse Turner won the 21st race last season as well. Oh, strategy play right there. That's going to be an interesting move. We'll have to hope for, well, we'll have to see. Turner's going to have to hope that a caution does not come out, because if a caution comes out, that's going to put him back in the field. So this is interesting. We last came down about lap 17. Oh, boy. So 38 minus 17, that gives you 21. And we have about 22, 21 laps to go. So we could see a fuel mileage race here tonight. Ooh, we got some action on the pit lane. Lots of action. Green flag pit stops here at the Nashville Superspeedway. There's Turner in the number 77. Looks like he is going to take 4 tires. That's what you need here in Nashville. Racetrack can get pretty worn. And with that, these guys are going to stay out for just a little bit. And now they're going to have to hope for a caution, because they're going to get back on the lead lap here as they come back around and pass our race leaders. Turner was the first driver off of the guys who came down the first time. Seth Cole with the bonus point as he's going to lead a lap. And now, Alonso, Sam Adio, look at how close they are to Jesse Turner. But you got to think, in just a few laps, these guys are going to have to come down the pit lane. So the strategy might not work out too well for him. But there goes Alonso. Warm tires for Alonso will get by Jesse Turner. We'll see where Kukulon is. There's Kukulon in number 13. Here's these guys, and Turner is gonna get the leapfrog, I think. Yep, he's got it. So Jesse Turner will make the move on Kukulon here. Remember, these guys racing around Turner right now, Alonso, Sam Adio, and Fitzwater, they have to make another stop here in just a few laps. So the way it's going to work out is Jesse Turner is going to take the race lead away from Sebastian Kukulon. 20 laps left in the Cracker Barrel 400 here at Nashville. And Seth Cole actually crossed the line, so it's actually still 21 laps to go. Because he had already started the lap. There goes Fitzwater and Alonso down. They're going to have to make their next stops. And we should expect Sam Adio to come down next time by. But that one lap for Jesse Turner was able to get him by the number 13. And how about Cody Sill? Cody Sill was able to jump Sebastian Kukulon as well. So great strategy off Cody Sill's part there. And now Kukulon will be down in the 3rd position when Sam Adio comes down the pit lane here. But Jesse Turner leads the field here at the Nashville Superspeedway. But the big question is, will these guys have to make another stop in the race? And you know what I'm thinking? Alonso, Sam Adio, and those guys, if they're able to kind of get back up front and get to the race lead like they did this time, they might be able to do it from here on out. This might be their last stop. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting, because we might be seeing one of those guys who ran most of the race a lap down get the race victory, because there's a very good chance, and a very good chance, I should say, that Turner, Sill, and Kukulon are going to have to come down a 3rd time. And if that's the case, that means these guys had it figured out the whole time. They wanted it to go green flag because this should be their last stop, and if that's the case, Alonso's in the position. Oh, but he went wide. These guys, you know, warm tires mean so much here at Nashville. You get a good run on newer tires eventually, but if your tires are cold on this racetrack, you're going nowhere. Here's Sam Adio in the number 48. Sam Adio might be at the advantage of those guys who have the off strategy. And those guys are going to hope this thing stays green the whole way through, because if it does, that means that they're going to be in the position most likely to take the lead back. We'll have to see. Jesse Turner leads it by a second on Cody Sill. Then you got Kukulon in the 3rd position, Michael Canto and Brad Stover. That's the top 5 for now. But we do theorize that the top 5 and a majority of the race leaders will have to come down to make a 3rd stop in this race, as their strategy might not work out too well for them. And that's the reason why those guys, Alonso, Sam Adio, they stayed out under that caution. They wanted to come right within their fuel window, so they did not have to make an extra stop like the rest of these leaders. That is what they were doing. So I said before there was a bad strategy. Well, you know what? One of those guys might end up winning this race. And even funnier, they've ran a majority of this race a lap down. This would be the oddest win I've ever seen if they pull it off, but that would be something else if one of those guys were able to get this race victory here tonight. Alonso has gotten back around San Mateo, so that is significant right there, and so has Fitzwater. San Mateo, not as fast as those guys, but you gotta watch out here. Fitzwater could make a move on Alonso. We might want to watch for this, because this could be for the race victory. We're following lap down machines and saying they're going to win the race. What's going on here? Christian Russell to the inside of Hergelard and Alonso, and Fitzwater's right there. And Fitzwater might easily get a run to the inside of Alonso and possibly steal this win away. Fitzwater is going for his 10th career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory and his 17th career Napa fan win. Jesse Turner's going for his 6th career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory and his 18th career Napa fan win. Big dogs are coming out tonight. Cody Sill going for his 4th career Chick-fil-A Cup Series victory, and he's running in the 3rd position. He might close in on Turner here, but I really don't think these guys are going to be able to make it, and just Turner's luck. I mean, it happened to him at least twice last year, where he was a dominant guy in the race and probably should have won, but had to make a pit stop right at the end of the race, and somebody else who could make it the whole way through ended up doing so and winning. And it almost looks like it's going to happen again to Turner, but at least this time we expect it to happen, because they only went about 20 laps on the fuel run there, and they came down lap 17, and then they came down lap 38, lap 39, lap 40, about 20 laps to go. There might be some guys who are able to make it, but I just don't know if they're all going to be able to. And by the way, Cody Sill is closing in. If you're Jesse Turner, you have to save fuel here. And it's tough to save fuel if you're the leader, and second place is less than a half a second behind you. But Cody Sill going for his 2nd win of the season, looking to become only the 3rd driver this season to win multiple races in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series season number 8. Kukulon trying to make it into the All-Star race. I think that's his main concern at this point. So a lot of these guys want to be in the All-Star race. He's 99 points behind in the championship coming into this thing. Nathan Baird, by the way, is 28th, so it's not a good run for him, but it's not the end of the world. But if he has enough runs like that, these guys like Kukulon, like Phillips, like Roberts, like Fitzwater, they could close in. Kukulon might get a run on Cody Sill. That is for the 2nd position. And Kukulon was the dominant guy earlier on in this thing, and it might not be Kukulon getting the race victory. As a matter of fact, I give him one of the least chances of the guys who has been in contention for this race. Ooh, Cody Sill with a block through the corner. And Zachary Fitzwater currently leads the guys who are on the off strategy. They're currently a lap down right now, but they should not have to make another stop before the end of the race, while we theorize that the rest of the drivers will have to. I believe the fuel window is about 20 laps here at Nashville, and they came on lap 38, lap 39 with more than 20 laps to go. Of course, the truck race at Kentucky last week, and time of recording this was just after that. We saw what happened in that race. This guy's not taking enough fuel in their pit stops, and sure enough, Tyler Ankrum gets the race victory. We could see something similar to that here tonight in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series in Nashville, and we are closing in on the finish of this race. Only one caution, but it's been a good one. A lot of pit strategy going on. That's what made this race special. There goes Kukulon to the inside. I don't believe we've actually had a pass for the lead on the racetrack, but Turner was going to do it if he did not have to come down the pit lane for his first pit stop. He's going to stay out here. Nobody's coming down now. They're coming to 6 laps to go in the Cracker Barrel 400 at Nashville. Cody's still going to get passed here by Michael Campto. I think Canto's going to get the run on him. Not going to do it quite yet there. Turner remains out front with 6 to go. Kukulon in 2nd. And Turner is going to hope for the win here tonight. Win number 18, but I just don't know if he's going to have enough fuel in the tank to do so. He's been in the lead this entire green flag run, and I really just don't see it happening because like I mentioned, the last came down lap 38, and before that they came down lap 17, I think. Might have been lap 16, so if that's the case, but you gotta think they had caution laps in that too, so the fuel window's probably about 20 laps. 5 laps to go for Jesse Turner. Will he have to come down the pit lane? I'm going to do all this talk, and they're going to be able to stay out. And nope, there he goes. Jesse Turner's down the pit lane. Here we go. And none of these guys are going to be able to make it. None of them are going to be able to make it. Kukulon will inherit the lead. Heartbreak for Jesse Turner once again. But it's going to be heartbreak for a lot of guys who were dominant in this race. And the oddest of strategies is going to pay off most likely for those guys who came into the pit lane right after the restart. There goes Kukulon, Sill. Now, at this point, those guys who stayed out do not want a caution because they are going to still end up being a lap down if we get a caution here. We're not even going to focus on the pit stops because it's not going to be for the race win. We know that these guys are going to be able to make it to the end. Oh, the wreck! Oh, Fitzwater's involved! Alonso's involved as well, and there is the caution! There is the caution right at the end of the race! Tristan Allen scored the race leader. Oh, boy, is this going to happen here tonight? 2 laps to go. Allen wins the race back to the line. And the drivers who were part of that strategy all caught up in an accident with 2 laps to go. These guys, if they do not come down, if they do not stay out, I have no clue who's going to win this race. They better stay out right here. They're coming to the white flag. Oh my goodness, he's coming down, and Seth Cole's going to stay out. And the thing about Seth Cole is he was able to stay out an extra lap, and that extra lap's going to give him that advantage. Tristan Allen could not do it. Oh, that just hurts for Tristan. Oh, man. Tristan's gone. All he needs to do is gas and go. If he can stay ahead of Seth Cole, which he's not going to be able to do. Seth Cole, white flag at Nashville under caution. And here's the thing about Seth Cole. He was able to stay out 1 lap extra compared to the rest of the field. Now 1 lap's going to give him enough fuel to the end. Tristan Allen ran out of fuel. How about this? I mean, Tristan Allen's still going to get a really good run here tonight. Because he can only finish 6th or lower. Or 6th or higher, I should say. But Tristan Allen almost had it there, and he could not get it to work for him. He just did not have enough fuel in the tank, and he was one of those guys who would have made a pit stop anyway. But all of those guys who were playing that strategy got caught up in that accident. And because they got caught up in that accident, none of them are going to get the race victory. And the driver who is going to get the race victory is a guy we didn't even see coming. But he's going to get his 2nd win of the season, and his name is Seth Cole. Coming off at turn number 4 under the yellow flag. One of the most topsy-turvy races of the season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series is going to go to Hamill Racing Enterprises, and Seth Cole wins the Cracker Barrel 400 at Nashville. Wow. I don't know what to say about that one. That thing was wild at the end. Well, let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the caution that would ultimately end the race here at the Nashville Superspeedway. And this is exactly what I was mentioning earlier on, with these guys having difficulty coming on and off the pit lane. Emily Anderson merging back on, John Andrews coming down, and they got into each other right ahead of Zachary Fitzwater and Sergio Larvin Alonso. And this took away what would have been a battle for the win between these guys. Look at how close they were. Sam Medeo, Alonso, and Fitzwater, they were all in the catbird seat to win this thing, and unfortunately none of them are going to get it after this accident that happened right in front of them. You could not ask for worse luck for those guys right there. That is the absolute worst thing that could have happened to them. Their strategy was working to perfection. One of those guys was going to win this race. I guarantee it. but they never got the chance. And chaos. Turn number 3. Lap 58 of the race. Once again, right here, number 5, Emily Anderson. It was more John Andrews for coming down, and Anderson, Anderson did not like it, and she punted John Andrews right to the outside wall, and that was unnecessary. That was 100% unnecessary right there. But it is just a video game, so we can't get too serious about it. But oh brother. And then you think Tristan Allen's going to win, but he's going to run out of gas here. That's why he came down the pit lane. He would have not been able to make it on fuel. He had pretty much burned it all. He had to stay out right there. And that's why he had to come down. He burned all his fuel up. I think if he was able to go and slow it down without having the race back to the line, I think he would have been able to stay out, but he couldn't do it. And the number 83 machine of Seth Cole going to win here tonight at Nashville on the Cracker Barrel 400. Do not ask me how he got that one, but Seth Cole's second win of the season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Only 6 guys officially finished on the lead lap. Josh Marzak got second. Alexander Rowe got third. And remember, Alexander Rowe was a guy who came down late in the going under the first caution. Then Tristan Allen, Mitchell Henderson, and Sebastian Kukulon all finished on the lead lap. Turner still got a great run in this race. I think all things considered, that was a really good run for Jesse. Brad Stover, Mark Davidson, Michael Canto. Other than those top 6, the rest of the field, actually other than the top 5, the rest of the field pretty much finished in where they were running all night. But a lot of guys finishing a lap down because of that accident, and guys who got knocked out. Zachary Fitzwater was probably going to win this race, and he's going to get last. It just doesn't get any worse than that for Zachary Fitzwater. And for Fitzwater, he came into this race 99 points behind. He had a chance at closing on Nathan Baird. It's just a race. I don't think he's going to have a chance at the championship anymore because of that. John Andrews also out. Saw what happened to him. Nicholas Amadeo, Emily Anderson, and Herja Larvin Alonso all caught up in the accident. And none of those guys who played that strategy ended up getting a good finish because it couldn't run out for them to get back to the race lead. I really kind of hated that wreck happened because we were going to see something very spectacular if it didn't happen. We saw how close those guys were to each other, but unfortunately, Emily Anderson and John Ears got into it, and Seth Cole is the beneficiary. And the number 83, he gets the victory in the Cracker Barrel 400 from Nashville. Oh boy, this is one of my favorite racetracks, guys. I love it. It's wacky. I love it. It's just one of those strange places. And we had another strange one here tonight in the Cracker Barrel 400. But Seth Cole, the race winner. You'll see the points after this. Nathan Baird finished 25th. Guys like Justin Roberts and let's see if there's anybody else who's up there. Kukulon's going to close in. I don't see Matthew Phillips up there. Phillips will close in a little bit, so those guys are going to get decent runs. Anderson's going to fall back a little bit. Nathan Baird will have a larger point lead exiting this race, but like I said, if Nathan Baird has enough runs like this in the last 7 races of the season, it's not going to work out too well for him in the championship. But either way, we're coming down on the home stretch. We're going to have All-Star Race Weekend next weekend. That's going to be fun. We're going to have the Open, a fan vote winner. We're going to have qualifying and the race all in one video this year. So, you know, everyone gets part of the same video this year. I think that's a better way of doing it. And then, a week after that, one of my favorite races of the year, it was probably the best race of the year last year. Lake Effect Ice Cream 400 at Watkins Glen. We go on the boot, we skip the chicane. Best darn racetrack on the circuit. It's a bit of a stretch saying that, but it is one of the best racetracks on the circuit, and you're not going to want to miss the Watkins Glen race weekend, the Lake Effect Ice Cream Super Weekend. All 5 series are running there. We're going to have the Hers Elimination Series there, the Craftsman Throwback Series there, the Rockstar Pro Series going to be there, 2 races in IndyCar, and then all caps off with the big event in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, the Lake Effect Ice Cream 400. And I'm looking forward to see who gets that one. Had a last corner pass last year between Luke Rainey and Blaine Keys. We might see something more of the same this year in the Season 8 event. But either way, congratulations to Seth Cole on the race victory. Here are the point standings in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series Season number 8. We'll see you guys next week for All-Star Race Weekend in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Gonna be a good one from Eldora. And the winner gets a reserve for Season number 9, if it happens. which I'm going to try to make it happen for you guys. But either way, congratulations to Seth Cole once again. And that is it for me, so hope you guys enjoyed this race. See you next week from Eldora for the Chick-fil-A All-Star Race. I will see you guys later.